Hey guys, welcome to this interview. For those of you who have just joined us live in the Facebook group, sorry that we couldn't stream this live. I think we had some tech issues, and so we really got that we can't do this. But however, I just thought it'd be so much. There's so much value that I want to provide it. That Seetal and I want to provide in this interview that we didn't want to kind of postpone it. Just wanted to kind of record it and put it out there. So if you're watching this in the Facebook group, just give us a thumbs up. Just give us a replay in the comments to let us know that you're watching this. That'd be awesome. And this will just kind of mention where you're kind of watching this from as well, and whereabouts in the world you are. That'd be awesome as well. So I am super excited for this interview today. We have been trying to plan this for some time, and you know, life gets in the way. Seetal's busy, and we're busy, and life goes on. So, Seetal, I'm super excited to have you here. We've planned this to be half an hour, and I can ask a lot of questions, and Seetal can talk a lot, right?
I can talk a lot. I'm really sorry.
It's good. So, really, I just want to do a quick intro, and then we're just going to get started. So 2 promises for today. Number 1 is that we're just going to be completely real, open, and honest as much as we can. And Seetal has kind of, she's very open like that as well. And so she's kind of bringing her all to this. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, for those of you that are watching this in our Lead From Within Facebook group, my promise is that at the end of this, we're going to be sharing something, a special gift for all of our members in our Lead From Within group. So hold on until the end for that as well. So those are my 2 promises today. Otherwise, I'm super excited to have fun with this interview. So Seetal, thank you so much for this. I'm super excited to hear what you have to say and just reflect on your journey, really.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
cool.
I'm excited.
So I guess maybe first off, what would be really cool is if you can just kind of briefly, like, maybe introduce yourself for those people that, you know, a lot of people in our community know you already, but for those people that don't know you, it'd be good to get a bit of a background as to who you are and where you're from, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure. So obviously my name's Seetal. I am 32. I'm married, so have been for 8 years. So I got married quite young. Currently live in Watford in the UK, just me and my husband, but we have a little one on the way. For work, as of January this year, I got promoted to a manager position within the clinical data management field of clinical trials. So I work for a pharmaceutical company that specialises in oncology drug development. So that's very fulfilling work in itself for me, but also personally, just a bit of background. So I've had a lot of challenges with my mental health, anxiety, and sometimes depression, which obviously I can share in more detail later, but due to that, I've kind of become somewhat of a mental health advocate, and so I kind of share a lot of my learnings and things that help me for others on my Instagram page at Seetal Speaks. Just a little promotion there. But I do promote mental health, well-being, and also now the personal growth side of things that have helped me along the way, and obviously my learnings from the coaching programs I've been on with Thriving Scholar. So yeah, I think that's me in a nutshell.
Amazing, yeah. And we'll definitely post all of your pages, because you share some great stuff. So we'll definitely make sure that's in all the comments and stuff of this live. So yeah, cool. Thanks for kind of giving us that intro. So I guess let's just dive deep into it. So, you know, before I guess we connected, you were part of this community for maybe a few months before we connected. I'm not sure how long that was, but then okay, cool, awesome. So then you connected with me in, I think, April last year, maybe it was just before April in 2020. And so just tell us more about your situation, you know, before, you know, how was life like before, you know, you connected with me and the Thriving Scholar community? Like, what was going on in your world, and yeah, what made you reach out?
Okay. I will try and summarize as best as I can. basically my life was just manic. I've always kept myself busy. I've worked really hard for my career, and obviously I'm married, so I've got that all going on as well, like home life and two sides of the family. But I think really work-wise, some would have said that I was somewhat of a workaholic. But I mean, I wouldn't quite put it like that, because I care very deeply about everything that I do. I care about my work. I care about every aspect of my life. But sometimes work took over, because I have these, I never want to do a half-hearted job. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to give it my all. And that was my work, really. First and foremost, which really it shouldn't have been. I just wanted everything to be perfect. I pushed myself so hard to be perfect in every way, at home, at work, in life in general, to the point where if things weren't perfect, I would get very anxious. I would burn myself out. And for many years, since I've been married, I've suffered from anxiety purely because, I went through these vicious cycles of, working so hard, letting work take over my life, not looking after myself, then getting very anxious with everything falling apart, and then sometimes to the point of depression. And then I would have to pick myself back up again. I'd do all the counselling and, get all the treatment and everything for my anxiety and everything, for my mental health to get better. Then I'd be in a good place and the cycle would just repeat. And that happened for several years up until I met, up until I reached out to you last year. And, that's really what led me to kind of seek coaching, as, and why really I messaged you that day, because it was out of sheer desperation of, wanting to change something.
Yeah, I really hear you. And obviously it's difficult, because when you're in that cycle, it's very difficult to, because obviously you want to, yes, you're working really hard, and then, you want to kind of fix that, and then it's not, you had counseling, etc., and still that felt good, but then you find yourself burning out again and again, and so it felt like a cycle. And then, but during that time, it's very difficult for it might have been quite difficult for you to see that the cycle, right? And to kind of step out of it, because it's so happening in your own mind, right? And it's yeah.
And I think I've been through it so many times that it just got to a point where I was like, it must be me. Like, there's no way I can put this down to work being stressful or whatever. It's to be something to do with me. So, that's why I contacted you.
Yeah, cool. And so I guess how did you feel about life before? Like, so I guess that's the reason why you contacted me. So how were you? You mentioned it was a point of desperation. How were you feeling in that moment? Like, how if you were to describe the emotions that you were experiencing?
I was completely overwhelmed. I was getting to breaking point again, and there was something in me that just did not want to go there again. So, I knew that I had no balance. I knew that work took over my life way too much, more than it should have, and I let it happen. I had no control over my need to be perfect and please everyone around me, and to want to do the best job at everything. But it just wasn't maintainable, obviously. It wasn't realistic. And hence why I was just burning myself out. And, I would have a confidence crisis every single time. And, to not have the confidence to do even simple things like cooking and socializing with my friends, my family, and, you know, just going into this bubble of, oh my God, I'm not in a good place, like I can't talk to anyone kind of thing. You know, it just wasn't a way for me to live. And so, yeah, that's basically how I was feeling at the time when I came to you.
And then I guess when you came to us, what did you want from, and this might sound like a bit of a stupid question. Everyone has their own wants when they come and join our programs or our work, whatever. And so what was your want? Like, what did you want from our work together?
I mean, that's a big question, but I think at the time when I contacted you, I just wanted to get my life back in order. I wanted to take control of my life and be in control of my life. I did not want work to be in control of my life, you know. You know, really, we work to live, not live to work. No, sorry, we live to work. No,
You work to live.
That completely wrong.
Well, I guess everyone has their own thing, but what you're trying to say, yeah, you work to live and not, you don't live to work.
Not live to work. Yeah, that is the right way. I did say it right the first time. But you know, I think I just wanted that work-life balance. I wanted to be on track with my life. I just felt like my whole life had been put on pause for my work, and for what? Like, yeah, I love my job and stuff, but it's not the be all or and end all of my life. I wanted to start a family. Like, you know, I wanted to have a baby, but also I was still career driven. I wanted to reach a certain level in my career before I did that, before I focused on family, and I just wasn't getting there. And so, yeah, I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah. I'm actually, we were speaking, was it last week, and we were kind of reflecting back before this interview, looking back at everything that you told me that you wanted, and it's great to look back in that time in April to hear like you wanted to be the mother that you wanted to be, and then be in control of work, etc. And so, and that I think you summed it up really well. From what I recollected as well, you just want to take ownership of your life. That's what it came down to. So amazing. I'm gonna look back down to my list of questions, which I know we're not going to get through everything, but so what's the right next question? So maybe just describe the journey. Like, you know, it's the first time you've been, that was the first time you got coached, right? Or it's been a coaching process.
Yeah.
How would you, if someone who doesn't know what the hell this is, like, how would you describe it now looking back at, you know, you've been with us for just under a year. How would you describe the program, the coaching, the project career, etc.?
Again, that's a really big question, and I'll try not to long out the answer. But
I've got some follow-on questions from that about what you got from it, etc. But if you just more about the actual journey, like what does it entail? Like, if you,
So, thing is, I think coaching is something you need to experience. It's hard to describe what you can. It's really hard for me to describe that journey. It's really hard to describe what I've got out of it, because what I've got out of it is so invaluable. It's so, like, you know, but the journey from where I was at that point where I contacted you to, let's just say, the end of last year was completely life-changing. Like, I managed to turn my life around. And yeah, I had my moments of, you know, feeling like, oh God, like it's just so much working on myself and, you know, trying to be the best version of myself while keeping up with every other aspect of my life. You know, before this, I didn't really work on myself, and I didn't do anything for my own personal growth or development. I didn't know about coaching really. And I went into it just thinking, oh, you know, maybe it will help me. And by the end of it, like my mindset had just completely changed. Like I was putting myself first. I had created boundaries. I had, you know, I could then have real conversations with people, honest conversations and powerful conversations with people in my work as part of my Seetal Speaks Instagram, you know, connecting with people, like-minded people. I mean, being part of the coaching group in itself was so powerful because you just learn so much, and you learn so much about yourself, which I don't think many people take the time to do. And that's what coaching gives you. It gives you that space and time to really look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, what is it that I want? Who do I need to be get there? And what do I need to do to achieve that? And it doesn't matter what it is, but for me, it was work-life balance and, you know, starting a family and, you know, getting to a certain point in my career, which within the last the 6-month program, initial 6-month program, I managed to do. And now I'm still continuing on that journey, and it helps me all the time just get through life, like, and tackle all the challenges that I face. And it's just increased my confidence so much. Like I would lose my confidence. I would doubt myself so many times, but it's just given me that courage and that confidence to just go out and be the best version of myself, live the life that I want, be the person that I want to be.
Yeah, beautiful. And for someone who's like watching this, thinking, well, I want to increase my confidence, and obviously that's something that you wanted to improve, and that's something that you have, you know, transformed over the last few months. Talk to us more about how, you know, the increasing confidence part. What would you say to that person, or actually more so, like, what helped you on your journey to increase your confidence? Like, how would you reflect back and say, actually, this helped me increase my confidence? Like, how did that look like for you?
Okay, so you know I'm going to do this. So first of all, I have to read the post-it note that's on my desk, because it's your quote from one of your mini books or something. And I read it, and it's literally the epitome of what confidence is. Confidence is a result, not a requirement.
Oh, yeah.
All you need is a little dose of courage, take a deep breath, connect within to step up and lead. And for me, that was exactly what happened for me. You know, I thought I needed confidence to do all the things that I wanted to do and achieve last year and in the past year. And I really didn't. Actually, I just needed the courage. And, you know, I think obviously addressing the issues that were holding me back, causing that fear in me of not having the courage to take those steps to get to where I wanted to be, especially with the anxiety that I felt and the perfectionism, because what perfectionism does is it stops you having that courage, because if you can't do something perfect, you don't want to do it at all, kind of thing, and you fear it. You fear not being perfect. And I think that's where I started. And, you know, I didn't have the confidence to stand up for myself in situations that would really bother me. And, you know, that I really should have stood up for myself. But ultimately what they did was it just brought my confidence down even more, and made me go more into my shell and more quiet and stuff. But once my mindset had started to change around all of these things, I started looking after myself more, being more aligned with myself through the coaching, obviously, and various other things that I was doing. You know, I think, yeah, being aligned with myself being more aligned to my truth and having more clarity in what I really wanted. That was really important. It made me more determined. It gave me that courage to step up and get those things that I was so determined to get those things that I wanted, because I was like, you know what, it is possible. And I just got to have the courage to step up and do what I need to do to get there. And obviously with the support, but ultimately it was a change within me that needed to be made in order to get that confidence to be able to, you know, go with my intuition as to what's best for me, and not just bow down to everyone else's demands and requests and, you know, please other people. I needed to please myself first. I would stand up for myself, and, you know, I started believing in myself and trusting myself more. You know, I basically found my voice. I turned it all around in that short space of time. I would say it's a short space of time because, you know, it was 6 months. And it's still going, obviously, like I'm always improving, but, you know, it gave me the confidence to stay on that path, on this journey of becoming the best version of myself. And becoming the best version of myself, I needed that confidence to, you know, step up, speak about the things I'm most passionate about, you know, share things on my Instagram, have those powerful and honest conversations with people. It just, you know, that having that confidence just changes your life.
So powerful. There's so much in what you said there, and what I'm hearing, like, is kind of from what you just said, the change has happened from the inside out. You said, when I started looking within, I think you mentioned something along the lines of, when I started making that change within, then everything changed. Like, it all started from within. And I really respect, because you on this journey, you're someone who has always shown up, and you're so willing to go deeper and deeper and deeper, and you show up on the call, and you're just ready to, and you're just open to it. And so I really respect that in you. And the results have shown, like, you have, this isn't no motivation hype. This isn't like a jumping up and down kind of, a short-term thing. Actually, this is fundamental change from the inside out. And what you said is that it's like, you start believing yourself, you start seeing yourself differently. You said that you connected with your truth. Then after the internal, then the external start changing, the promotions, all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. So the external results came first from the internal changes, is what I'm really hearing from you. Would you agree with that?
Completely.
Yeah. What was the hardest part of this journey for you?
Starting it. Starting it. It took a lot for me to actually contact you in the first place and say, look, I need some help here. Like, I'm like, my life is a mess kind of thing, like, and I need to sort it out, and I need help to sort it out. You know, and I think it was a rocky road to start off with, because I think when you start something like this, that you've never done anything like that before, to start working on yourself and really making changes in your life, you know, putting those, you know, routines and things in place to get you in a place where you can really look after yourself and think about yourself first and work on yourself. I think it's hard when, you know, in the beginning, because you just don't know where to start. And I think that's how I felt. And I think I felt quite overwhelmed in the beginning. And, you know, I then went through another stressful period at work, and like, it all got on top of me again. And, you know, I had really bad anxiety last July after I'd started the program. We started the program, in June? End of May, June. And then in July, around about mid-July, I felt like I was falling apart. Like, I just felt like, oh my God, it's all so much kind of thing. Like, how do I do this? And, you know, with my whole work situation at the time being the way it was, and having all this work piled on me, because obviously, like, people think I'm really good, so they just give me more stuff. And I wasn't in that place at that point to say no, and to, you know, stand up for myself and push back and stuff. I wasn't there yet. So obviously it all just got on top of me again, and I started feeling really anxious, to the point I was feeling quite depressed. I got signed off work for 2 weeks, and that's when I spoke to you, and I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know what to do about the coaching. Like, this is the way I'm feeling right now. Like, it's so much right now. And you were just, that conversation in itself was just so nice, because, you know, you were just like, forget about the coaching, forget about everything else, just focus on you and getting yourself right. And, you know, you told me about the mountain, and, you know, you just got to put one foot in front of the other and not even look at the top, and stuff, which was what was overwhelming me, because I was like, oh, I need to get there kind of thing. But I wasn't focusing on that one step at a time. And it was just, for me, it was just going too slowly. And I hadn't got my head around the concept of it being a long-term thing, this journey. It's not a quick fix. So, you know, it wasn't going to change my life overnight. It was going to be work and stuff. And so then, you know, I took that 2 weeks out of work. I then had a week away in Scotland with my family, which really helped. I took a break from it all for a little while, and then I came back. And then slowly I started getting my confidence again. And, you know, everyone around me realized, like, noticed the shift in me. Even you realized in September, you were like, your energy's changed and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I don't know, something switched within me, and the hardest part was over.
Yeah, I remember that time, and it's so interesting what you said there, because this is how a lot of our, you know, we live in a world where we got Amazon next day delivery, want things really quickly, want instant gratification, right? That's just how, you know, our brains are being wired right now, with everything that's external feeding it. And the problem that a lot of us have is, we have, and including me, like, I have the same issue with many of these things, right? It's like, we see the top of the mountain, we want to get there, we're pushing ourselves, we're trying to motivate ourselves, we see that, and then we get, so, because it's all created in our own mind, we have this expectation, this high, and obviously, especially, you know, with perfectionism, all that kind of stuff, we have this really high expectation we've created in our mind, but we are not in this place. Like, we are here in the bottom of the mountain, we see the top, and we are, because we're seeing the gap between where we are right now to where we want to be, we're vibrating this energy of lack. Like, we are not there yet, I'm not there yet, I'm not there yet, I'm not this person. And that's the energy that we're vibrating all the time. Whereas if we kind of put that out, and what you did after you went to Scotland, the change which I noticed in you was like, well, yeah, you want to get there, you want to get to the top of the mountain, but it's okay. Like, I'm gonna let it go now, and I'm just going to focus on just enjoying this journey a bit more, and just taking it one step at a time. Not only were you happier with that, it actually got you at to the top. Even the top of the mountain is always a false illusion, because there is no top, it's just a continual journey. But you know, put in a metaphorically speaking, you got you to the top of the mountain at a quicker rate when you just focused on the next step, and then the next step, and the next step, right?
Completely. I mean, it got me to where I wanted to be at the end of last year.
Yeah.
At the end of that 6-month coaching program, what I said at the start, it got me there, you know, and that was the mountain I was climbing at the time.
Yeah, amazing. All right, I know we're kind of tight for time, but 2 more questions that I have. Okay. What advice would you give to that Seetal a year ago? That a year younger version of you? What advice would you say to her right now?
Okay, you told me this, so I'm gonna ahead of time. So I'm gonna read my note on this, because I think it's really good and it summarizes it really well. Okay, so I would say to Seetal 1 year ago that you think you're stuck in the situation you are in. You've accepted your life the way it is, and that the anxiety is just a part of you, and you will always have it. But that's not true. You can turn your life around, you can change it, and you can be the powerful woman you'd love to be. Just start, and you've got this.
Wow. That's powerful. And it's aligned with what you were saying, right? Like the hardest part is the start. It's taking that first step.
Yeah, 100%.
Amazing. And what are you now most excited about? Because when you're someone, as I see, like this is just, yes, you've done the program with us and you continue to do it. You're still with us. And what I see in you is this is just a beginning of a new life for you. These last 12 months it's been like a rebirth, a new life and you're soon going to be a mother, and that's what you wanted. You want to be a great leader at home for your family, and be a great leader for your team at work, and those that you lead at work, and just generally for the people around you. And I see this now, like I always talk about the journey, and transformation is being a journey. It's not just a one-off program. That's it. This is just a way of living. And so what I see in you is someone who's just continuing to have the courage to remove layers, to step into the more heroic version of you, to take that next step, to lead. And I continue seeing that week after week, every single time we speak. And so this, I know this is just the beginning for you, right? And so what are you most excited about? I mean, I kind of guess I probably know the answer to this, but what are you most excited about now in the next 6 to 12 months in life?
You know what?
I might not know the answer.
It's actually a lot more than you think.
All right.
Because
Tell us.
I know everyone thinks that it's just going to be baby all the way, but it's actually, there's just so much in life to be excited about. Life changes all the time. And, I think, for me right now, like transitioning my work to my line report, for example, that's my focus right now. And I'm excited to get my line report, who, like, just so happens to be one of my best friends, who I know is going to take the lead role on my study and be the best at it. Like, that study is my baby. I've had it for 4 years, and I'm, finally letting go of it to have my own baby. And I'm excited. I'm excited for her. I'm excited to just transition that work away from me to her, then get through the 3rd trimester of my pregnancy, which I know is going to be tough, but whatever it will be. Then having the baby, whether it be a boy or a girl, we don't know, so it's going to be a surprise, so that's exciting. Then becoming the mother that I want to be, having the newborn in my arms and stuff. I can't wait to meet the baby. Obviously, I'm very excited about that, and just watching them grow over the next year, and being that mum, and weirdly also, I've even thought about what I'm going to do after maternity leave. Maternity leave, my mat leave is going to be a whole year, so that will be the next 12 months. But there's just so much I want to do in my life, kind of thing. And I think maternity leave will give me that time to really think about that, while looking after this baby. I know that's going to keep me very busy, but yeah. And also, just sharing more. I love having my Instagram page, my Seetal Speaks, because I think it gives me that platform where I can share things that I learn along the way. And even if it just helps one person, I'll be happy. But it seems to help other people, and I've had a lot more courage with it and stuff. And I think this is the next chapter of my life, and sharing that as part of my journey on my Instagram is exciting. And there's just so many things I want to do in terms of my mental health advocacy and stuff. And so yeah, there's just loads more to come from me in the next 6 to 12 months.
Amazing. I'm super excited for you. I think it's something that we've spoken about before is, you know, as you know, as life goes on, as you become a parent, as you know, other things happen in life, like the person that you have become so far is now you're prepared for that, but you're still becoming the person that you need to become as life goes on. So we've spoken about it, life doesn't get any, sometimes life doesn't get easier, but you get better. And so you've got this platform now where you're just going to get better and better at life. And so I'm excited for you. I'm so excited for you for what's to come. Any final words from you that you'd like to share? You don't have to. I'm just kind of giving you anything that you'd like to say to anyone that's watching this, or any final words of wisdom from you.
I think just that, you know, for anyone who is considering coaching and not sure about it, like not sure about what you can get out of it, like, as I say, like I've just shared my journey, my outcomes and everything, but it's different for everyone. Everyone's on a different path. Everyone is, you know, in a different situation, and having their own challenges in life. But I do think that, you know, you can't get this stuff from books and online courses and stuff. Like, having a personal coach has literally brought out the best in me that I didn't even know it could, like, I didn't even know this was within me. Like, you know, and it really is. I feel the best that I've ever felt, and, you know, and I'm still continuing on it. And it truly is life-changing. So ultimately, everyone, and we, you know, I think we mentioned this in one of our coaching calls like a couple of weeks ago, but ultimately everyone is looking for a happier, more fulfilling, purposeful life, right? And this is just one way of something that will help you on your way to get there. It's helped me. So that's literally all I can say.
Amazing. Yeah, I see this as, like, you know, everyone wants to live a world-class life. Like, we're put here to live a world-class life, and so that's why I see the journey that you've taken. It's not, you've not come, yes, you know, things were difficult before, but it's not like things were really, really bad and life was really bad. Actually, like, it was okay, it was average. And yes, there was anxiety, if you had depression, etc. before, but really what you really wanted is just to be a better leader and live a world-class life from the inside out. And that's what you really achieved. And so I just want to acknowledge you for, number one, taking that step, and you know, having the courage to go on the journey that you've been on the last 12 months. Number two, showing up and doing the work as you've done over the last 12 months. Because, you know, yes, we've created the environment for you. We just provide the coaching, but ultimately, you're the person who's done all the work. It's, you know, you've stepped into your power and you've transformed your own life, which is amazing. Number three, you've been such an open, supportive member of the community for the rest of the group, and you just continue to act and lead with more courage. So I really acknowledge you for that, and just acknowledge you for this interview, like sharing your journey, sharing, you know, your life over the 12 months, you know, is sometimes isn't easy, and so that also requires courage. And the person you've become now, you know, you're able to do that. And obviously, you have your own page and stuff now. You're just sharing what you share, and it's helping a lot of people. So, on behalf of everyone that's watching this, either in the replay or live, well, not live, because we couldn't do it live.
But we didn't make that happen.
Unfortunately, we didn't make that happen. But yeah, like I just want to say thank you on behalf of everyone for sharing your story, because I'm sure there's something that someone has taken away from this that has inspired them, or has prompted them to you know, maybe to do something with their situation. So thank you so much for sharing. I'm super excited for what's to come. And for those of you, as I mentioned, there's two promises that I had at the beginning of this interview. Number one, that we want to be as open and upfront as possible. Hopefully we have done that. And number two, for those of you that are watching this in the Lead From Within group, I wanted to be dropping a link below to an online form where you can register for a free 2-day online retreat that we're hosting. This retreat is a paid retreat. We haven't even launched it yet. It's going to be about $497 in terms of price. But for everyone in this group that, you know, that's listening to this, you'll find a form below that you can kind of fill in your details and be on the waiting list for that. So once we've got the details organized, it's going to be end of July, beginning of August, and it's going to be essentially a retreat where it's going to be very much of the things which Seetal has mentioned on this call. Number one, really slowing down, getting reflective on what is that you really want to do in the world, finding clarity, particularly kind of coming up to the end of these first 6-7 months of this year. So it's kind of really good time to reflect on what is that you want to create for the rest of the year. Clarity, what is that's holding you back from courage? Like right now, what is it that is holding you back? And we're going to work on that. And number 3 is, increasing your performance, right? So what systems, what things do you want to put in place right now to take that next step, so that you can take the next steps and the next steps and the next steps consistently, so you can then get to your top of your mountain, whatever that may be. So it's completely free. So yeah, the link will be below in the comments of this video. In the meantime, feel free also to it'll be great if you can write your one key takeaway that you've taken from today. What's the one thing that you've taken away from today from what Seetal has said? And so your key takeaway number 1, and the second thing is, what are you going to now do differently for you? Or what's going to be different for you moving forward? I don't want this to be just an interview where you listen and it doesn't, it's nice to listen to, but then nothing changes for you. We want this group to be about transformation. It's just not about information. So it's, what is it that you've taken away from this, and what can you do next? Awesome.
No,
what was that?
No pressure.
No pressure. Yeah. All right, Seetal.
I do want to say thank you to you as well, for giving me the opportunity to share. I hope it's been helpful.
You're very much a valued member of this community, and I know that you'll continue to share in our community as well. So cool. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Take care. Have a great day. Bye bye.